Morning everyone, I am EMTA Liking and today I'll be taking you through our ambulance check. Before engaging our engine, I will proceed to checking our engine oil. Then I will move on to checking the radiator fluid, our sirens, and our equipment in the the patient section. To access our engine oil, we'll have to lift our seat. Here we have our dipstick. Here we have our dipstick. We'll take it out, wipe, and then put it back in. Now we're going to check that the fluid is at the correct level. So here we have low and we have maximum. It is in between. So we can do a bit of topping up when time permits. We'll move on to check in our radiator fluid. Again, you have our markings, low and full. And from looking here, we realize that there's adequate amount inside. We can also check our windshield washer. And there's adequate amount inside. Because we want to ensure that the vision of our driver is very clear. You can also check to ensure that there are no debris, any leakage or abrasion inside the compartment.
Go ahead.
We also want to ensure that our brake fluid is in the right proportion, and as you can see, it is at the maximum level. Now we'll move on to checking, to starting our engine and checking our alert systems. Yes. One, two. We'll check our hazard light. White. We'll move on to checking our hazard light and our headlights, our windshield wiper, and I'll walk around to ensure that they are in working condition. So as you can see, our lights are working correctly. Our alert light is on.
Go ahead.
If you look on our dashboard, you'll see that all lights are in working condition. We'll now move on to the rear of the unit to ensure that the rear lights are on. And as you can see, working how they should. Now I move on to checking for tire pressure. psi for the tire, which is the correct reading. Now we'll move on to the patient compartment of the ambulance. I'm now going to move on to do our checklist and compare to the stocks that we have on the unit. Here we have our extinguisher, we have enough gloves, we have our oxygen cylinder, and we can go ahead and check. Adequate amount is inside. We have our AED. Please note that the battery is not stored in this AED. So when we're ready to use, we would put in our battery and make the necessary checks. Ensure that all pieces are in. Our jump bag. My partner will go ahead, state what it ought to be in the bag, and I'll make the necessary checks. Here we have our BVM, we have our gauze and other resources that we might need. Here we have our suctioning machine, we have our C-collars, we have our stretcher, we have our mounted oxygen cylinder, and here is another storage area. We have portable